Hello, good evening. Welcome to the City of Healing. This is Angela. Happy Wednesday. I was born on a Wednesday. Welcome to the City of Healing, where the city resides within. And I'm sitting out here enjoying an evening snack, eating some pitaya, dragon fruit. And it sort of tastes like a plum and a kiwi and a pear. And it's quite delicious. This is a yellow dragon fruit, a pitaya. And it's very much so seeded. You can see it. And it's considered a tropical fruit found in South America, Mexico. And it's in season, of course, in Mexico. And it's shipped here. And it's delicious. It's sweeter than the red dragon fruit. There's three kinds, or three colors, basically, that I've seen. I've seen a white, which looks really rather plain, more like a orange. And then the yellow, which looks like a starfish and a pineapple mix. It's real prickly. And the dragon fruit red one, which is really extra, and it's like red and yellow and orange all mixed together. It looks like the scales of a dragon. And I like the yellow because it's really, really sweet, especially if you're going to eat something sweet. So delicious. It keeps you very, very hydrated because it's a very, very much so full of a liquid. I'm enjoying this. And it's full of fiber as well as with the seeds. Good source of vitamin C, of course, phosphorus, iron, calcium, and I just love it. So if you haven't tried a pitaya, you should. It doesn't turn like really, really red like the red dragon fruit, but it's so much tastier. I love it. And I'm gonna go for a walk, my evening walk, in just a few minutes. And I love, as you know, going on walks. Monday when I went for a walk, I was so surprised because it wasn't raining. And I went for my morning walk, while I was at work. And, excuse me, I don't eat pretty, so I apologize. When I was walking, there was a big fog in the far, far east, but it was kind of sunny. And I finally figured that it was pollen. And it seemed like it was like raining pollen. And you can feel something coming down, but it wasn't wet. It was pollen. And then that evening it did rain again, but the pollen is definitely here. I'm sitting on this bench out here, and I know my pants are going to be yellow as I walk, the neighborhood. But, at least I'm still in my work clothes, and all I have to do is just take it off, put it in the wash machine. But today, I wanted to talk about ancestors. And that's such a profound subject, of course. I'm sure everyone would agree that, as the saying goes, we are our ancestors, the DNA, the legacy they left with us. And I think it's so very important that, we get to learn and know people for more than just their physical, or who we feel that they are, or who we see that they are, and get in touch with who they truly are on a spiritual level. And I know my aunt that just recently passed in September. I will remember her when I go on my walks when it's really windy, because I used to talk to her a lot during my walks. And the wind would be blowing. The last time it was blowing really, really hard. And the wind will always remind me of her. That spirit will always linger with me. So I think it's very important to get in touch with that aspect of each other, really. And when I speak of ancestors, I always like to tell the story of a day when I went to this place called Vegan Flavor Cafe. And it was vegan, of course, and as I mentioned, I'm not vegan. But I went there. The food is delicious. The people are great. They are comedic people. They're very spiritual, not just like being in the atmosphere. So this particular event, they were doing a meditation, a guided meditation. And it was a meditation to get in touch with ancestors, basically, or to see them, you know. And I was like, well, you know, where is this going to lead to? So I went in the back of the room, and they had, you know, sage and Palo Santo burning, and it was a great ambiance. It felt spiritual. So we all sat down. I was comfortable, relaxed. The guided meditation went on, and what they wanted us to do was, you know, meditate, of course, but have a visual in mind that you were going to visit your ancestor. And you imagine yourself, you know, opening a door, you know, going down some stairs, counting the stairs, then coming to another door. And on the other outside of that door was where you would meet your ancestor. And so that's what we did. And I got really relaxed, and my imagination is very good. But this particular meditation, what, you know, wasn't just hello, my meditation, you know, something else took over. But what happened was, you know, I did open the door, went down the stairs, then opened the other door, you know, to see my ancestor. And I didn't know what to expect. I expected to see my grandmother, you know, my uncles, that type of thing. So I opened the door, and I see that we're in the country where I grew up. But when I open the door, I don't see, you know, the houses and the barns and, you know, the well and things like that. But I see a field of wheat, a lot of wheat. And so I was like, wow. And, you know, and there was just this very serene wind and the sun. And it felt like it was maybe like 78 degrees, but it was just beautiful. So I decided to step out, and I did. And I was like, you know, the wheat came up to like, you know, a little above my waist. And I'm walking, and then I stopped. And I was like, you know, this is a lot of land, but I don't see anybody. There's no signs of any human activity anywhere. I'm just here in this field of wheat. And so I'm feeling through the wheat, and then all of a sudden I see this tall, very slender, dark-skinned person, you know, with no hair, but this African garb on, you know, like no shirt, and then like some red bottoms, stringy like skirt, and this headgear as well. And I was like, wow. It's sort of like it looked like a Shaka Zulu experience, but a different look. You know, the best I can describe it right now. And I looked, I was like, uh-oh. And then all of a sudden it started running towards me. I was like, oh my goodness, what should I run? But of course I didn't run. And it came up to me, and it started looking at me, but it didn't say anything. But there was like a telepathic situation going on, you know, as if it was checking me out, asking me how I was doing, and just basically kind of like smelling on me and just checking me out, making sure I was okay. And it just stared at me, you know, in a caring way, so to speak. And I was a little scared and nervous, but after a while, I became comfortable. And we just stood there for quite some time, just telepathically communicating. And we went for a little walk and came back to that same spot, and till it was time for me to come back, basically. And that was the end of that situation, but it was so profound and beautiful that it was something I totally did not expect to happen. You know, it was as if I had a real ancestral visit than I expected. And no, there was no other drugs involved in that situation. But, you know, some people, we came back from the meditation, some people had interesting experiences and some people didn't have any. But I was really exasperated at my experience, something I totally did not expect. But it sort of kind of made sense because me, I'm, like I said, you know, a little introverted. I don't really talk a lot. And I got from that, you know, that my ancestors didn't do a lot of verbal communication, but more telepathic. You didn't have to use words. You can use symbols and basically nonverbal communication. And it was wonderful. So that was one experience that I had that I just wanted to share about ancestors. You know, they're already with us, they're within us, and we don't let them die, you know. But anyway, I just wanted to come forth and share, you know, my ancestral visit, my meeting with an ancestor that was, as I could say, one of my favorite words, profound and beautiful and real. And I'll never forget it. Anyway, I just wanted to come forth and share that in remembrance of our ancestors, all of them. Anyway, thanks for visiting the city, and I hope you all have a great evening. Take a walk, enjoy, because it's a beautiful evening. Hopefully, sometimes I get, I get lost in thought, and then it's dark before I know it. So I'm gonna speed up this walk and enjoy the view. Anyway, take care.